A recent poll taken among Americans showed that 41% of them supported the Palestinians in their conflict with the Israelis or expressed sympathy for them, while only 36% of Americans backed Israel. Now, that is certainly a significant shift, and we've seen over the past 24 years Americans consistently supporting Israel. However, this recent decline in U.S. support for Israel seemed to pick up pace after 2023, October 7th, but now we have, it looks like, a significant decline in U.S. public support for Israel and rising sympathy for the Palestinians. Now, we're here in New York City, which is historically and consistently a stronghold of pro-Israeli sentiment, a very large Jewish population here in New York City, but there was recently an electoral upsurge. We have a mayor here in New York City, Zohran Mamdani, who was elected despite being quite critical of Israel. And so we decided to talk to New Yorkers here on the streets of New York City and ask their opinion about the war against Iran, the U.S. attacks on Iran, as well as the Israel-Palestine conflict, and see what they had to say. Here's some of what we heard. Do you support the war against Iran?
And the war in Iran. The reason of this is about the Jewish.
Why?
Because I don't think it's any of our business. It's also the motives behind it. It's Israel's war, not the U.S.
I mean, right now the USA is bombing Iran. Do you think we should be doing it?
No, I feel like we should try to do like a peace treaty, maybe something like. I mean, but if they're like coming at like America like heavily, then maybe a little. But I would want peace. I'd rather the peace.
Do you support bombing Iran?
No, I said something the other day. I said we killed the Ayatollah guy. I said I'm glad he's dead and we shouldn't be there.
There's no reason for war.
Okay.
They're not threatening us. He claims they're threatening us. How are they threatening us? I'd like to know.
Do you support bombing Iran, the war against Iran?
No, I don't.
Tell us why.
Because you shouldn't just go bomb a sovereign country without even getting congressional approval or it's not the right way to go about
Do you
things.
support the war against Iran?
No.
Tell me more.
I mean, sometimes we as a country, United States, we need to mind our business to a certain extent. And that's and I'm not saying don't care about what's going on in other places, but sometimes let other people work their problems out before you really try. Is it a helping hand or is it a push?
Do you support bombing Iran?
No, I do not. I feel like the United States did this illegally, and they should stay out of other countries' businesses and stuff like that. So that's my personal opinion on it. I did hear, however, that the people of Iran are happy that it happened, but again, I don't really know much about the topic to really form a solid opinion about it.
The war against Iran that's going on right now, do you support it?
No.
Tell me why.
To be honest, I just don't support any war. I feel like we could talk things out, you could figure things out off of communication. You see the higher ups are all communicating, but then they send everybody else to go to war.
Yeah. Do you support bombing Iran right now?
Absolutely not.
Tell me more.
I just think that I can't trust any of the parties involved, that there is an agenda that isn't being shared with the American people.
Is Iran bombing Iran?
I don't support any war.
Okay, tell me more.
I don't support war. I think we can resolve our issues better.
Do you support bombing Iran, the war against Iran?
Yes.
Tell us why.
I feel like the regime needed to be changed. Lots of people have been murdered unnecessarily. They're a terror-sponsored group in the Middle East, and hopefully it'll help stabilize things.
No, don't support death in any way.
Tell us more.
I think that any conflict can be resolved, with communication and love. And you got to do your own investigation as far as who we're dealing with, but don't want any kind of massive death or large numbers, anything like that.
Do I support Israel? It's a very broad statement. No, not really. Not the way that they act towards Palestine. Put it that way.
Hey, do you support bombing Iran, war against Iran?
Fuck no. I think that it's killing innocent people for monetary profit. And the majority of it is to evade responsibility for, like she said, the Epstein files and a bunch of other shit. Like, it's bullshit. So, no, of course not.
And do you support the war against Iran, bombing Iran?
No, I do not. I don't think it should be. There should be other ways to like solve the issue, you know, like diplomacy and other things. So I don't think war is good at all. So I'm completely against that. You know, they should not go to war. It's going to have terrible problems for everybody.
They fight one another. But the people in Iran and Israel, they are brothers. They came from one father, Abraham. The Iran and Israel, they are the children of God.
So do you think we should be bombing Iran?
No, you're not. Not necessary.
Do you support the war against Iran?
No.
Tell me why.
Just need to let people live their lives, work on the country that we live in here. There's a lot of people suffering. We live in New York City. So many people suffering that need support. Just feel like we just don't have the resources to be putting our belief system on other people. It's just time to All right.
Do you support Israel?
Yeah, Israel, they're brothers. They're all the children of Abraham.
Yeah. Do you support Israel?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I know of the history over there, and I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian, so I support.
Now, do you support Israel?
Yes and no.
Tell me more.
I support the people of Israel. I don't support certain things and actions that they're doing over there, but overall, I support Israel, yeah.
Okay. And do you support Israel?
I support all people.
Okay.
Love all people. Show love. Love is greater than hate.
Do you support Israel?
No, I don't know too much about Israel. I don't know too much about the Jewish people, but I don't listen to, social media and like propaganda and stuff. I try to.
Okay. Well, my next question is, do you support Israel?
No, I don't.
Tell me more.
Well, because I live in the United States, not the United States of Israel, and I feel just AIPAC and the funding and the money that's involved in our politics, just as no other country is allowed to be involved in our politics, Israel shouldn't be either.
Why do you
fund way too much? We won't give our own citizens, but we'll give Israeli citizens welfare and pay all, just it goes on and on and on. It's so corrupt.
Yeah. Do you support Israel?
I support everybody. I actually just bought a pin that is, my father asked me to buy it for him. He said, can you find me Israeli and Palestinian flag pin? So I'm just going to take it, because we don't, we're done playing games, so, yeah.
Second question, do you support Israel?
In a way, in a sense, yes. I don't want to get into it too. Yes, because we're all entitled to the same, regardless of our religious beliefs, we shouldn't be held accountable for something that happened. These people have nothing to do with what's going on, this generation.
Why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
Because most Americans don't care and are so self-centered and wrapped up with what's going on here that they don't really care.
You don't feel like it's wrapped up with what's going on with Iran and stuff like that?
I think it's so bad here that we don't have time to really dwell on what's going on over there when it's so bad at home.
Do you support Israel?
Hell no. Absolutely not. I don't support the genocide in Gaza. I believe in free Palestine. I feel like what Israel has been doing has been a crime against humanity for many, many years, and it's frustrating that nothing is being done about it.
Why are Americans not supporting Israel as much as they used to?
America is not supporting Israel. He wants to be equal and why not? America doesn't want war. They're tired of war. America wants peace.
Do you support Israel?
I support Israeli people. I'm not a fan of the Netanyahu situation.
Do you support Israel?
No, and I think that being anti-Zionist is not anti-Semitic in any form. I have met many Jewish people who are against Israel itself, and I think that distinction is very important. I think that Israel is committing a genocide right now. They're using starvation as a war tactic, and that is illegal in international law, so I think it's terrible.
Now, why do you think less and less Americans are supporting Israel?
That I don't know about. I didn't even hear that. That's interesting. Usually people are like, I'm not even too, usually I never heard of it. No, not even. even. Never heard of that.
You're surprised people aren't supporting Israel?
That's surprising.
And why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
Because we're over it. It's not fair. There's no support for our own citizens here. It's corporate greed, it's hedge fund greed, it's corporate real estate. You see restaurants and shops being closed down in New York City left and right because corporate greed and hedge fund greed coming in, buying up real estate and closing all of these brick and mortar restaurants and shops that have been around forever.
Do you support Israel?
Hard to say. I mean, not necessarily the government, the people, yes, but the government, no.
Support Israel?
Absolutely. I don't think they, I support all countries for peace, and I don't think Israel is really that bad, They're trying to have some peace and negotiate stuff and everything. So I do support Israel, but I also have sympathy for all the other countries. I don't think they should be bombed or treated badly,
Okay. Do you support Israel?
100%.
Tell us.
Religious reasons, political reasons. I feel like they're a good force in the world, and they deserve to be where they are and have their land.
They're their own people. Why wouldn't I? I don't have any malice against anybody.
Do you support Israel?
Sure. When not Netanyahu isn't doing insane things,
Okay.
I support Israel, not him.
And why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
Video is everything. My father's a journalist. Video is incredibly valuable. As soon as, you can't, everyone sees the same thing, no matter how much they tilt it, so.
What does that mean?
Like when Alex Preddy was killed, we all saw the video. You can't run away from that, so.
You're referring to the video from Gaza?
Yeah. Well, no, the shooting in Minneapolis.
Oh, go on.
That video, you can't run away from facts.
Right, so what does that have to do with Israel?
Well, if you see missiles raining down on a place like that,
Yeah.
and you see people dying, and then people take photos, you can't run away from it. Now, there's obviously a lot more AI stuff that's trying to mess it up, but there's only that they can only do so much AI stuff.
Yes, we're witnessing crimes against humanity, and I feel like people are finally waking up and realizing the propaganda that's been placed upon us for years and years and years. And the United States and Israel is trying to fight back, but young people now are waking up. They have access to social media, and they're actually seeing what's actually happening.
And why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
I think people just don't know what's going on. We just can't trust the government anymore. We don't know where money is going. We don't understand the systems anymore. One thing is said, another thing happens. So there's just not an alignment. I don't think there's a lot of trust anymore. Yeah.
Why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
I feel like because of the politics and also social media, there's a lot of misinformation that's out there and a lot of miscommunication. Goes back to communication pretty much.
Why do you think support for Israel is fading among Americans?
Because people are starting to realize how terrible it is. We're getting the images, we're getting the news, we're getting everything, and people are realizing how awful it is. And they're trying, like she said, they're waking up. So.
Do you think support for Israel is fading?
Just from what I said, people's views in America on Jewish people and whatnot, not things that they've experienced themselves or the research they've done themselves. So it's just a bunch of confusion in the air.
Do you think support for Israel among Americans is decreasing so much?
A lot of it is our elected officials.
Go on.
Mayor Mamdani refusing to support them and supporting terrorism against them. It's just disgraceful.
Support for Israel is declining.
Well, a lot of people aren't able to handle opinions of others, so generally some people go with what they think they know but don't know what they need to know, so they may get confused, but can't disrespect other life forces.
Yeah, but is there anything related to current events that would cause people to oppose Israel? Do you think that the things are globally changing, or the way Americans see things about Israel is affected by anything?
Well, we're always going to be evolving in some way. That's just nature. But we got to be able to keep up with the times, I guess, so everybody's accepted and everybody's happy.
Why do you think support for Israel among Americans is declining?
Because the way they treat Palestinians, it's inhumane.
And why do you think support for Israel is declining among Americans?
I think a lot of people don't make the separation between a government and the people, and I can support the people and not agree with the government, just like I support Americans. I don't always agree with our government. I think there are a lot of people who just think we shouldn't be spending money there, support our own people, and that they have their agendas they want to follow too. So
Why do you think support for Israel is declining among Americans?
Because of Netanyahu. People don't make the distinction between this crazy person who will attack anybody and the country. The country's fine.
Question, why do you think less and less Americans are supporting Israel?
I'm not 100% sure about this because I think it's possibly because there's a lot of this. I now notice like a lot of Muslim influence in America. So, which I've been seeing on videos and everything that's happening in Europe, and it's kind of coming over here to the United States. And I don't think it's all Muslims at all, because they are all good people, 90% of them, right? It's that radical element that's like pushing these ideas, and I think it could be that's one of the reasons I think. But there's always been anti-Semitism all the time, over the years. But I hope it's it doesn't get worse. And I hope it's like good from here on. And so I feel it's because of the immigration and some of the lax policies, that they have, So I do think Israel should be supported and the Jewish people should be left alone.
I think we need to get out of Israel. We need to get out of Iran. Some peace, for sure. And not turn Gaza into Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
We need a better president. That's who we need. I hope that in the midterms, people will come to those that voted for him. Hopefully the independents, they say, are changing their mind. We have a chance.
Completely honest.
Yes, of course.
Fuck Trump. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu. He's ruining everything. We deserve peace. And yeah, that's basically my whole opinion. He's a piece of shit. He's literally causing war to avoid the Epstein files, and he needs to be punished for it. And it's very frustrating that nothing is being done. I'm sick and tired of seeing innocent people suffer because of corrupted fuckers like him. Sorry, I just feel very...
Now, New York City, again, is known to be a stronghold of pro-Israeli sentiments. And while a lot of the people we spoke to didn't express outright hostility toward Israel, they expressed hostility toward Netanyahu, they expressed hostility toward the actions the Israeli government is taking. And we also heard a lot of Americans saying they just don't want our money spent on this conflict. They don't feel like bombing Iran is what U.S. leaders should be doing. A lot of folks saying that they want peace. A lot of folks saying that it's not our business. We should focus on prioritizing America and dealing with our economy. An interesting wide range of opinions here on the streets of New York. And while we did find a few people that were solidly in Israel's camp, most were somewhat critical of Israel, if not fully opposed. And there didn't seem to be a lot of support for U.S. military action against Iran, though there was some. So that's what we heard here on the streets of New York City as the conflict in the Middle East is intensifying.